Well, hello everyone. We are live again. This is Toni Weel. I'm here with Sarah from Virtuous Unicorns, and we have Grant on as our guest. Live again. And boy, am I unprepared. And I do have something open that makes it echo. From Virtuous. And I have absolutely no clue what it is. So
I think that was me, Toni.
Oh, that
Sorry.
was you. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I had to turn off.
Me out. Like, what did I do wrong?
Nothing. No, I had my iPad because I look at the chat on the iPad and that. So, but using the phone, so I had to mute it.
Okay. Well,
Sorry about that.
You're good. What an intro. I already get confused at the intro. That's pretty bad today. Well, again, I always have to say that, I'm in Florida. It's beautiful. It's sunny. And I'm in a kind of a dark room, actually. I have to change that. I intend to move to a, about 6 times larger office than what I have now, where I can have all my herbal formulas from Dr. Morse out. I have a separate, it's actually a walk-in closet that I use as my herbal room, but that's kind of going all to be moved to my new office, so I have everything close to me. And it's a sunroom, so that will be windows all around. So I have all the light that you can have here in Florida.
That'll be nice.
Pretty good.
That'll be nice as you rub it in. We're cloud covered and cold and snowy.
But... Yeah, I'm gonna do that every Thursday. So
good. I imagine the sun.
Yeah, just for fun. It's well, yeah, I do like when it's raining and it's cold and you hear the wind blowing, then it's like, oh my gosh, I feel so good being at home and cozy. Feeling comfortable. And yeah, I do like storms. Well, not hurricanes, storms. And but I only like them when I'm in the house.
Yes.
I've been in storms on a motorcycle. No fun at all.
I bet.
Yeah.
And every time we get a bad storm here, I have to, and I'm running like to the barn or something, I have to run because my walk path goes through all these old trees, and they're very big trees too. And so I'm always like, great, the limb's gonna fall on me. So like I run through them real quick. And most of the time, like when I walk through in the morning, there'll be like a big down limb or something I got to kind of drag out of the way.
Yeah, coming from or growing up in the Netherlands, it's pretty much always raining there. And I loved walking in the rain. I had 2 big dogs, and it was rain or shine. They were going to be walked at least, a few miles. 5 kilometers was the minimum. I think that's about, what would it be, about 3 miles? And didn't matter if it's stormy weather and being out in the rain. But since we know about chemtrails, it's like not that much fun anymore being out in the rain. Because it actually, I've had it happen that it burned on my skin, and I was like, oh, no. So now I enjoy the rain on my, well, I can't say metal roof. Part of the overhang is metal, so yeah, I do hear the rain. So I like that. Anyway, how is everyone doing today?
We have Grant and Juan on the phone as well. Yeah. Hi, guys.
And hi there.
Yeah, you all doing well?
Doing good. Yeah. Another day, another Thursday.
Yeah.
Looking forward to the chat.
They just keep flying by, don't they? Well, you both look really good.
Thank you. So do you, Sarah.
As my unicorn self.
Yeah. I love the hair on that unicorn.
Thanks. That kind of resembles mine. It's not. My hair is not purple though. I'm a blonde, but blondish. There we go.
I Yeah, I got an email from she was one of my clients. Her name is Heather Elliott, and I was one of her clients. So we traded our consultancy services. She is a pretty amazing woman, and she is about Meet Your Mind, Change the World, mindset expert. She helped me with past traumas, how to work through them. And I had invited her, but it was, I just got her email. So all in all, it was on such a short notice. So I don't think she even read my invitation. And but she is going to have, and I think this is important. I would have loved for her to introduce what she is doing. She has sent the email only to the people she has worked with, but I do want to share it. She's going to do a course on mindset with Terry Ann, the lady she was working with. Let me see. This will be a 4-week course designed to help you become more aware of you by exploring your mind in greater depth, way more than you would have experienced in a process with me. Think of your mind as processing a vast array of thoughts gathered through time. These thoughts are organized into mindsets of perspectives that influence many areas of your life. This course is about engaging the bigger picture of this inner universe and how it impacts your life on a daily basis, with the goal of expanding self-awareness and empowering a greater sense of control over your life. She will talk about discussing a variety of topics, like your life is a story and you are living in your own movie. And where did your mind come from? The past and how it shapes you. Being the creator of your life, how exactly do you do that? Mindset that helps and mindsets that hinder. Becoming conscious and aware of your mindset, taking control. What is reality? As an introductory lesson on quantum physics and you as the observer. You can rewire your brain, neuroplasticity and what it means to you. Choosing rather than reacting. Outgrowing any victim mindsets that may haunt you, etc. So those are the things that in her consultation with her, that is what she goes over to. And it starts on February, and then she has the 9th, February the 2nd, the 9th, the 16th, and the 23rd. And it is, every time it's 2 hours. It's online, and the cost is $149 plus HST. She's in Canada. I don't know what HST is. Her website is mindfulchange.com. So if you would like to connect with her, please do so. And I don't, maybe she made it online and she's listening to us now. I don't know, but yeah, she's amazing. And I would like, we all struggle with our lives, you could say, with our mindset and how it all works, and how do you overcome the trauma that you all have been through, and how can you not be a victim but be a survivor. And it's yeah, I can only speak very highly of her and how she works. I found her very yeah, because it is difficult to go through past traumas, and I found her very gentle and loving, and really connecting with what she said, because I really had trouble going there, because I have been through a therapist, and I've been through a therapist who was actually in tears. So I was like, because of my story, so that was not helping at all. And with Heather, it was like beautiful. That's all I can say about it. So her website, it's set up, but where is it again? Mindful Change. And she also wrote 2 books, 7 Critical Mindset Strategies, and another book is Same Shit, Different Day.
Good. That's a good title. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm getting the link to post right now.
yeah, I will put her details in there, and it would be yeah, if you can do that, it would be great. But it was on such a short notice that I was like, well, yeah, better to announce it here.
Mm-hmm.
It's been gosh, it's been 3 years, I think, since I at least 2 years ago that I went through a consultation with her.
That's
Uh,
very interesting. Yeah, a lot of the stuff that, we've done with trauma stuff is that, it also really helps that you got to find something that, you're passionate about. You got to find that passion also too. And again, we've talked this before, but there are different types of traumas, and the traumas that we have worked through have been related to more military type stuff. And those people need camaraderie. They need mission type goals that they need to look forward to. They need to still feel kind of like rescuers and things like that. And when they kind of find that, it could be something as, you're rescuing dogs now, or you could be out, helping find missing children, missing animals, helping stop the sex trafficking stuff going on. All that kind of stuff where you're still kind of in it, but you're actually serving like a bigger, I don't know the word, goal, picture, something like that. You're really doing something that's very meaningful. I have another friend that he was a doctor over in the Congo, Africa since the 1970s, and he has recently retired from the State Department and has been here in the States, and he is not happy at all. And he said that it's too hard to be here, seeing how people live, and they don't even know what the whole world looks like out there and what they have complaints about here and whatnot. It's very hard to be here. And he has, lots of traumas too, just from doing the work that he's been doing over there for all those years. But then being here, he says this is the hardest thing, is being here in the States and just living complacent and not even knowing what's going on outside of here. So, there's all kinds of different traumas and different ways to go. And we are very sheltered here too. So, but yeah, I would definitely be interested in looking into that more and learning more about that too. Everything though does result back to your health. The more stress you carry, the more, that you just can't move forward. It does kind of manifest within you too.
It does, and but with all the traumas that we have had and have in our life, because like what you said, many people are still going through it.
Mm-hmm.
It can be within your family even. Yeah. It's I have traumas in my family, and it's rather difficult, and it's especially going on in the last few months, and I'm letting go. And it becomes easier to letting go because that is the course that it obviously has to be.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, I accept that.
Yeah. There's one thing else I wanted to, maybe she talks about this too or whatnot, but a lot of the times I know myself, I personally, like if anyone's ever spent any time at Children's Hospital or, just seen any of that kind of stuff, you kind of go to those places and then you think, okay, well, my life's pretty good. My life's pretty good, and then even though you have your own little issues inside, it's like you push them down because you think, well, I have a house, so my life's good. There's people that don't have a house, but yet you still have those problems. And so every problem is still a problem if it's still affecting you, no matter how big or how small, or if somebody else has a bigger problem than you do, your problem's still your problem and still your issue. So you still need to work those out, no matter how big or how small they are. And being grateful for stuff is wonderful, but until you are healed with inside too, then your light can't shine as bright as it needs to. So no matter if it's big or small, you should still feel the need to work on yourself the better you are, the better you can help others.
Yeah, and I think that connecting with the right people is a big part of the healing process,
Mm-hmm.
because I found that so many people have no one to talk about it, with they don't know anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I hope that our new platform for that comes in soon, and so that we have more ways of connecting with call it like-minded people, but people that won't that won't judge and accept you for who you are.
Is that the Garden of Eden,
Yes,
Toni?
yes.
I did get your email. And so is that going to be your website?
Yeah, it's I what I sent out I think to you was a kind of the ideas what the site should be about, and it is about connecting with each other, and teaching about how I cannot teach anybody about how to live, but what the options are, and just giving the options, and that can go into the healing ways that we have. It's not only about food, but definitely we need to teach about food. But it's also about the energy, magnetism. There's so many more things. So that needs to be on there. And I was thinking, like, so many people ask me about dating. And it's like, yeah, you can. I mean, that option is there. Because a lot of people are on their own, and it's I spoke with someone about, it's like, yeah, I would like to date, but how can I date somebody who's eating meat or smoking? Or you can't, not anymore, not with what we know now. It's not happening. So sorry. So that is part of it, but how can we grow our own stuff? How can we? I mean, I'm absolutely mesmerized by these earthships, and it's like everything comes in full circle there. How we can live in the middle of the desert and have everything that we need. There are many things that animals we can show animals. We can have a good news section in there, only good news. It doesn't. Well, whatever good news is, it doesn't always have to go into the truth in such a way as what we've gotten used to in the last 2, 3, 4, 5 years. And yeah, and Sarah, you were talking about that living in a bubble, and in a way it's like, not realizing what is out there. In a way, I do realize everything that is out there, but I'm very happy that I do have my little bubble here where I can feel safe. And it's not that I'm what is it? I don't know the word for it. Ignore all the other things that are, it is a big mess. I listened actually to what is his name? SG Annan on Rumble. And he painted a kind of a picture of what is all going on in the world. And it's like, there's so much going on, and it may be nearby and we have no clue. We have absolutely no clue. We do the things that we are doing. Yesterday I went out shopping. I went to Costco for my fruit and to Sprouts. I've never been there before, and see what they had. Finding the oranges and the watermelon, and we drive home again, and everything is fine. There doesn't seem any issues going on. And it is like, how much do we need to be? Well, we need to be aware, but not to worry about it, because where we are at this point, we cannot change anything. And I think that we reach a lot more with our high frequency than worrying about, everything else that is going on. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, and I agree with that 100%. I was just saying his traumas are that he has trouble still just being here where everyone is, complacent, knowing what's going on over there. And that's the same thing with a lot of the military guys. Even though they're home, they're still over at the war. They can't they're not comfortable here. They're more comfortable over there. And that's a hard trauma to explain to people who haven't experienced that. And so there's just many levels of trauma that is, how do we even begin to start dealing with them? Mm-hmm.
I really like that idea too, Tony. When you're saying about like bringing the good news. I can recollect years ago, my sister wanted to start a television like show, and it was going to be called the Good News Network, and it was always just going to be what's going on that's good, because it seems like the mainstream media really hypes up and reports on the sensationalism of what's not good, and people really seem to be buying into that, but there is just so much good going on in the world, and I really like your idea, Tony, around those quotes from Dr. Morse. I think that would be really kind of a cool way to start the show off, would be with one of his quotes.
Yeah, that is actually a good one, because like I said, I want to use it in the book that I'm working on. And just something yeah, it should be like on every page, it helps you moving forward. Let me I don't know if there was a quote that was standing out to you, one, but let me see if I see one. Well, there is one: if you treat, you can't cure. And it's actually important to talk about that, because every day in the Fans of Dr. Morse group, where I am the pretty much, most active or only active admin in there, and so I get every post I have to approve or delete. So there's a lot of, no, there's not a lot. There's some nonsense posts that I don't approve, but most of them are questions about treating an illness. And then it's like, okay, we have to go into there are no diseases or illnesses. There's only one, it's acidosis. And it's all symptoms that you have, and you do not treat symptoms. You heal the cause of that symptom. Otherwise, I hear people that are even on herbs for years at a time. Are they improving? Not really. Because if you don't change your diet completely until you heal, nothing is going to happen. Well, not much anyway. So, and if you treat, you can't cure. So that is one important thing to know. And there was another one. You can rebuild anything at any age. So for the oldies amongst us.
Toni.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with a traiteur?
With a what?
Traiteur. It's a person that has certain powers that certain things, illness. I'm talking about the old. This is what I grew up with. I'm French. I'm Cajun. You know what I'm saying? We had like my grandpa. He could treat for earaches, and we were like, I don't know. My mom said I was like 10 months old, and I was crying and crying and crying from an earache. And my grandpa did some kind of little thing, and some prayers and stuff like that, and the earache went away. I mean, gone within minutes. Now, it's hard to know what that is. I think it's just a power we have, especially family. I think we can actually heal each other with certain things, not necessary prayers. That's the way he did it, and that's the way the Cajun people did the Catholic. I grew up Catholic, and I'm not anything anymore. I know what it is. I don't church, and they keep their churches and all of that good stuff, but it actually worked, and I've seen it done as I was growing up, because like if you had when I was in Vietnam, we was playing volleyball, and I landed on a rock when we was playing barefoot. You know, it's in sand and not play like beach style, but I landed on a rock and I really messed up my foot. And I went to one of the local women that did that same type of thing, you know, but they just do it in their way. And within it took a little longer. It wasn't in a few minutes. That took a couple of days, but it's like it disappeared. It's like, I don't know, maybe it was my body. But as a kid, it's kind of hard to say that as a 10-month-old or something like that. You know, as when I went to Vietnam, I was an adult then. That's a little more maybe mind over matter kind of thing. Could have been. But that was 2 instances in my life that I seen something that's like esoteric, you know, like mystical, something like that, you know. And from what I'm gathering, from what everything that I've been learning, is anything is possible, you know, just like reading tarot cards or any of those kind of things, that it is just another tool. Like you was talking about your new website. Basically, it's just giving out tools. And, you know, health is one, like you said, the food. And, you know, you got all kind of, when it comes to the different aspects of it, it's just all tools. But yeah, I just wanted to share those couple examples that I'd had, and what you think about that kind of stuff.
I absolutely love it. And I am 100% sure that these things are there, but it has been in a way taken away from us because our belief system was so forced to go into the direction of the medical industry that none of those things could survive. And I'm happy to hear that for you, what was it, your grandfather, that he knew about that. And it's kind of sad that it's not, you know, it's like we don't believe in it, and so it's not kind of there because we have to go to the white coats. They know everything. And they made everything that is so simple. Life is in fact, it's simple. They made it so difficult that you just gave over and you don't believe in your own powers anymore. And I do believe in powers. It's the same as of course, now I forgot the word again. When you know exactly what another person thinks because you have that connection. I have that with my husband. I think something and he speaks it, and he knows exactly what I was thinking, and for vice versa. And I think there is way more than that, and you find it when you go into the tribes who have not been, and there are very few in the world, who have not been abused by the whole system as we know it. I think you'll find way more of that, and I love it. And yeah, it's but that is something, you know, that I would love to hear more about that. You know, I'm sure there are more stories like that. And you know, on a website on a website like that, it's the same as what I did on a Freak Sense World. There are groups and forums, and in a group you can discuss you can, you know, talk about the topics. We can add all kinds of topics. The same on the forum. So it's all wide open. The only thing that I'm concerned about is that we do need to stick with, a certain format, in a way that I don't want to have endless war discussions or truth discussions and whatever people feel that truth is. We now know what truth is, but there's so much disinformation, and that's not what I want on that platform. It should really be about the healing and the beauty, and we don't have to ignore, you know, the nastiness that's going on around it, but we don't have to be really part of it. And
right.
So yeah, we can create something there. And That's what I said, it's not a one woman job. It's like I love to get more ideas from people. I was thinking about setting up a job thing, but then I was like, okay, what kind of jobs do you feel that would be good?
Just,
It's
just,
I don't know yet. I mean,
just set
there's
up a
not.
Zoom call, Tony.
I'm sorry.
Just set up a Zoom call, like a personal Zoom call of the people that's, because I'd be willing. Me and Juan talked about that already.
Okay.
We'd be willing to, get with you and Sarah and discuss maybe how to go forward from here.
Yeah,
And
I would suggest that you go to afreaksenseworld.com and then click on health, and then you see, because I have like 100 over 100 topics on health there, and click on the forums and click on the groups, and then you see the topics that I had set up and that I will also add to Garden of Eden. But it's and I want to have people a way of connecting and locally. It's like on the Freaks and World, I can see that there are, I think, I haven't counted in the last year, but last time I looked, there were about 50 people here within, well, 50, 60 miles from me. So that means that there are that many people in the area where I have something in common with. And we can do that on the free, the Garden of Eden. It's the same type of platform. We do that there too. And then you can set up, potlucks and meetings and whatever, connect with people. And I think this is how you can change things in your area. And not feel so alone. It's like, well, there's nobody here, who is vegan or raw vegan or knows Dr. Morse or is into fruitarian, that kind of thing. But it's like how I don't know yet how to if all kinds of people would want to join. It will be a sign up way, so you have to register, but you have to do that everywhere. Every social platform you have to register. So that should not be a big deal. And I have to find out what is a good way of funding such a platform, because I funded a Freaks and World. I cannot do that again with another platform. So we have to figure that out. But I think, with working together, we come on all kinds of ideas. And that's what I sent, and I can put that, in a group. What are the topics that we can add to it? And I think the news and people finding good news and then post it there for everybody to read. I mean, that's fun. And all these positive memes, my God, I have been collecting them for quite some time, and I do want to put that also in the 90 days to health. I haven't figured out what title it's going to be. But that should be like a step-by-step and day-by-day plan. It's like, okay, day 1, you do this, day 2, it's going to be this. And where you can journal every day. So it's going to be a big book, full color. I still have to figure out how to get it printed in full color and still have a reasonable price. Because Dr. Morse has a new book out, actually. And it's $125. So for many people feel that a book shouldn't cost that much, but I like to look at it in a different way. My God, it is part of your health. How can you put really a price on it when you know exactly what to do? You may not even need a counselor, or a detox specialist to really understand what it all is. So I think that it would be that Dr. Morse book for someone who is as a counselor. I know all the things that are in there already, but if you just start out, it would be a great basic guidebook for everything. But I just want to take it a step further with what to eat on that day, what recipe, because it will be, the first 30 days will be about transitioning. And if you have any recipes you want to share with me, they can be in the book. Your name can be in there, because it doesn't have to be in a book written by, just my name. I mean, it is, what is the word, collaboration to do it right. And I'd love to get people's input. Oh, I see, Grant. You mean on Rumble we could discuss anything? It does cost to have a live channel. The live channel is $25 a month, which is not too bad. But we can discuss anything we want on WhatsApp too. I've never seen any problems with that. So
Wow.
having a WhatsApp group.
Well, I'm not sure on WhatsApp, because that's more China kind of baloney kind of thing. I know from the information I had gathered long time now, but Rumble seems to be pretty free, because we see what Charlie talks about, and if you can say that, then we could do. If it costs $25 a month, I'll be willing to donate the $25 a month to you to take care of that. I give Charlie and them money too, quite often, and I'm not sure how to donate to you. I need to check into that, but yeah, if you wanted to start something like that, I'd be willing to donate that, and take care of that part.
Actually, the donation link is at the top of the show notes under every video, so it is right there.
Well, no, I'm saying that's what how is PayPal or something, because I don't have PayPal.
Oh, okay.
I just donate. Rumble allows you to just donate from your credit card.
Yeah,
and that's the way I like to do that. I think YouTube does too, because I've seen people with YouTube channels that have a money sign. Okay. Where we got the smiley face.
Yeah.
You see, they got a money sign. So maybe you have to monetize it or something.
Yeah, I haven't done that.
Right.
Yeah. It's only recently that I actually started charging for my services. And before that, I was working for donations. And but yeah, it's I'll look into it and see what we can do. Now, Sarah had a few questions that were actually also posted in the group, and I would like to go over there before we just chatted up the whole hour already. And there was actually let me see, where was it? Okay, there were quite a few, but there was one about hormones. No, I don't see it.
It's the one.
Oh yeah, with menopause and menopause systems. And I have been told that natural testosterone pellets will help with that. And I want to see what recommendations Dr. Morse has for this, especially since I've been diagnosed with osteopenia and my mother had osteoporosis. Diet. It's always the diet. It's always that you have an acidic body. Dr. Morse is against any form of hormones. So that answers the whole question, actually, what to do. It is a change in diet, and I have found that the hot flashes actually go away with that. Now, when I look at how I went through menopause, I didn't even notice. I was like, oh, hey, I didn't get my period the last 2, 3, 4, 5 months. I knew I couldn't be pregnant, not at 50 something. So, and I didn't notice anything. All the things that you say that can happen, I didn't have any of them. So lucky me, because I've seen a lady who had hot flashes, and she was actually in a store as a cashier. What is it? At the cash register.
Cashier.
Cashier. Okay, there we go. And oh my God, her hot flashes were so bad. At that time, I had no clue what to tell her. I could only feel for her because she was totally miserable. And but when you change your diet, and I've heard that from a lot of people, to more fruit or mostly fruit, and definitely all raw, and you get all that meat and that dairy and that the eggs out of your diet, you are already well on your way to feel a ton better. And we don't realize it. Like last week, we were talking about all the things that have these heavy metals in it. You have no idea how many hormones are in the in all that stuff that you're eating. It's crazy. And the same, it's in the water. They have done water tests where they find hormones in, and even they find pharmaceuticals in it. So careful. Now Dr. Morse has a formula that really helps, but it also states be careful because you can get pregnant from it. So we don't want that when you want to go through menopause or you're going through menopause. Now there is one herb that really helps, and that is black cohosh. That is and that is, I think, with any herbalist, or if you look it up online, you can find that. And that works great. And osteoporosis, it's again, acidity. I had been diagnosed with, oh, you have osteoporosis, and then it was arthritis, and it was something with the bones. And when I broke a femur by just twisting my body, the femur broke just under the hip ball. And so, yeah, I have some metal in my body now. And I asked them, like, do I have brittle bones? Because how in the world can that happen? And I didn't get an answer. They told me I had very heavy muscles. I was like, oh, okay. Which didn't make sense either, but it is the acidity in your body. And yeah, there is more to it. The parathyroid is involved, your thyroid, the calcium distribution. What is the word? I was going to say observe, but it is absorb the nutrients that you get in. So there's a lot to consider with your diet and the herbs. And yeah, I say there's a lot to consider. That's actually not the right way to say it, because it is simple. You just need to change your diet, and you need a few herbs to help you move along, and there you go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Toni, I'm kind of curious about the menopause. I'm wondering if maybe that's what I'm going through. Because last night I had I had the night sweat again, and maybe that's my hot flash or so. What is the hot flash?
I don't know. It is yeah. I wonder why they called it menopause. You pause from a man?
Yeah.
Yeah. It should be a woman pause.
My goal is not to go through it at all. Just continue for as long as possible.
Yeah. I didn't like it much, because I felt miserable the week before, and the week after, well, 2 weeks before and the week after, and I felt pretty decent while I had my period. And there was maybe a few days that I felt okay, nothing is going on. I always had to tell my family, it's like, my period is coming on, so be aware.
Now, were you on the SAD diet still prior?
Well, yes and no. Like I've mentioned a few times, I've always been kind of a health nut.
Mm-hmm.
But not into junk food at all. The no hamburgers or those kind of things. But yeah, I ate cheese, and I ate eggs, and but not that frequent. But I also ate rice and beans and bread. I mean,
Right.
it's so at that time I was eating that kind of stuff, but not packaged foods or foods with labels on it where you have to read about whatever junk is in there. So in that kind of way, I wasn't in junk food. But nowadays, what I consider junk food is everything, well, almost everything that is actually has to be cooked.
Right.
And yesterday we were on the road, and I had found a new vegan restaurant, and yeah, we felt like eating there something. And you know what? We both got sick from it. So it was like, okay, that was a lesson learned again. So
Well,
the
the reason why I was saying before is like a lot of the women in my family have very like bad menstrual problems leading all the way up to like terrible pain and things like that. Whereas I used to as well too. And a long time ago, I knew that I had to cut out fat during a certain, time of the month, like leading up to it. And when I did that, then I wasn't having the issues anymore. And now my only things that I do have throughout the month is I get very hungry a couple of like the week before, like for 2 days, I'll get extremely hungry. And then I also will have like a few days where I'm consumed with worry. And so I've been tracking those for a while now, and I know when they're coming. But that's the still things that I still go through every month. But other than that, there's nothing else. So I don't know if I'm like on the right path of this or whatever, but those are like my only things that are still outlying is I'm very hungry a couple days out of the whole month, and I worry. I worry all the time. I mean, I'm a mom, but like it's like extreme worry those 2 days out of the month. So I don't know what it is.
Isn't it interesting what hormones can do if there's a slight change? Dr. Morse talked, because I looked it up this morning, what he had to say about the hormones, and he got into, it's always getting your adrenals to work, how important that is. But do you feel that it got better since you are on more fruit, that there is a change compared to how it was years ago?
The worry and the hunger, no, it's still about the same, but like the cramps and any of the back pains and all that stuff is gone. And everything's regular. But since I've been learning more and, going through the stuff, just trying to be more of an observer and things like that in my life and trying to live virtuously. And the fact that I've been tracking, I know it's coming. So I can kind of step back now, and it's taken so much practice, especially the worry. I've stepped back from it, and I've been like, okay, here we go. Are we ready? Let's worry together. And then I kind of like play with my ego or my whatever it is. And I'm like, what can we worry about today? And then I just try to drum up as much stuff as I can early. And it sounds crazy, but of course I do it when I'm alone. And I just try to throw it all out on the table real quick and be like, wait, shouldn't we worry about this and this? And so I've kind of done that route. I don't know if that's working, but it's like, I know it's coming. And so I'm like, let's go, let's do this. So that's helped. But the hunger though, it's still there. I mean, I could eat like 10 bags of oranges and then I'd be like, what's next? And it just doesn't go away. Like I don't get that full feeling, but it's only 2 days out of the month. So
oh, that's pretty good. I have no idea what it could be. Yeah.
Wow, Sarah. Yeah. I get that hunger thing too. I don't know if I told y'all, but my mom was half Italian. And so I kind of have a weakness for spaghetti. And I was getting hungry, and so, I have a confession to make. I didn't eat any bean burritos, but I did have spaghetti. And
well, I thought your weakness was Mexican. Now it's Italian too. Oh, poor you.
Well,
I think it's just carbs
revealing
in general.
myself to you. I'm letting you, this is a safe place to be able to say what, was going on. And I noticed it almost immediately, and I don't think it's psychosomatic, my knees, because I used to have arthritis. The doctor showed me the pictures, or the arthroscopic pictures of, they went in there and looked, because I had knee surgery, and he goes, that is arthritis, where you start getting that rubbing, bone to bone. And when I cut out the meat, the dairy, and the eggs, I noticed that rubbing pain, the arthritis, went away. But I think that eating spaghetti, which is cooked, and it was, it was pretty basic. I mean, it was just some spaghetti that I boiled and added tomato sauce and spices. But my knees started hurting when I went for my walk, and I go, wow, I think that the cooked food is stiffening up my joints.
Yeah, but you know what, one, it's not just the cooked food, the fact that it is cooked. When you have a spaghetti sauce or a tomato sauce on it, I suspect that it is not raw. And cooked tomato sauce is highly acidic. And then the spaghetti is made from grains. That's acidic too. So there you go.
Yeah,
I thought you were going to say that, but
are you keeping a journal of this too? Just so that way when you're tempted again, maybe you can go back and read that and be like, this is how I felt afterwards.
Yeah, I'm just not going to eat spaghetti anymore. No more beef burritos and no more spaghetti.
Well,
you'll
could
find
probably,
another weakness.
he could probably make a different spaghetti there, because that's like me, because I couldn't stand eating tomato sauce, because over here, this is, like I said, this is Cajun country here. Tomato sauce, there's tomato gravies and roux and gumbos and all of that. And I never could handle tomato gravy cooked, tomatoes cooked. But now I eat them raw every day and no problem with the stomach. That used to tear my stomach up. And my dad loved tomato gravies. He would cook anything in a tomato gravy. You could put some wieners and with tomato gravy, that's good enough. But it's like, wow, now no problem. And it's like, okay, I see the difference. When you cook it, like Toni was talking about, it becomes so acidic that, if you don't have a cast iron stomach, you're gonna hurt. And I didn't have a cast iron stomach. My brother has one. He can eat anything at any time, and it don't matter what it is. He'll never have a stomach problem. But I had that problem. But now raw tomatoes, ripe tomatoes, which is sometimes kind of hard to find. Ripe anything right now is kind of hard to find. But yeah, no problem anymore with that.
That brings me actually to another question that somebody had, was having acid reflux on all fruit. And Dr. Morse says that when you have that and stomach issues from it, then stay away from the acid fruits for a while until your body is further healing. So that was the solution to the acid fruit thing. And it's definitely not the celery juice, as somebody was, MM is suggesting as the heal all thing. It is just don't eat, the citrus and other acid fruits.
I noticed too, Toni, that I was farting a lot. I had a lot of gas, and I think that might be attributed to the cooked food also, right? Because I don't normally have this much gas.
Yeah, every time I would eat cooked food, I have this rumbling in my stomach, all kinds of noises, which I don't have on mono fruit. I have to say that. I may have it on combined, fruits like smoothies, but not on mono fruit. So that actually tells me again that the mono fruit is the best thing that you can do for your body. But yeah, it is even because I don't eat any animal food, but with a cooked meal, bowel movement starts smelling. And it was just vegan cooked food. So you think that you are well on your way to be healthy, but it's as long as you have that smell from it, it's like, no, something is rotting there inside. It's no good.
Yeah, your bowel movements should not smell, nor should your urine or your body, your armpits, like nothing should have a scent really.
No, no.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I did notice that I was starting to get like a body odor under my arms, and I haven't had that. So yeah, this is all connecting together. I can really see this. And yeah, I kind of think that, for myself, being able to testify here and say and continue to learn, it's going to be, part of the journey, the learning journey. But I've been primarily just on orange juice and oranges. And I think that that's kind of my saving grace, because I just been expelling, even the pasta, it just kind of went through me. But yeah, I mean, I can see the difference from just I've been eating the oranges, because that's how I broke the fast. But yeah, I did give in. There was just something about that hunger pain for on my mom's side, the whole Italian thing.
And
Was
when we all giggle, but there's no judgment here at all, for sure. It is your journey, and your body is your own experiment. So, do with it as you would like. You do know what we're supposed to be doing, but it's still completely up to you what you want to do. And I'm a very firm believer is it's not what we do every once in a great while. Like, if you want to have a cookie at Christmas time or something like that, it's what you do every single day. Yeah. Are you going to feel sick from that cookie? Or say you do have pasta, some meal or something for Valentine's Day. Okay. You're just going to feel sick that day, but you just get right back up and you get right back on that wagon.
Yeah. I was curious too, Toni. What was the food that you ate? You said it was a really good vegan restaurant, and then you got.
Well, it was the first time that we learned about it, and they had tacos with walnut meat, so there were nuts in there. But they had a sauce, and I think the sauce was the only thing that my husband and I both had, and that we both didn't like. And I think there was MSG in it, and that always makes me sick.
Oh,
And I never expected, and I did write them, I haven't heard back, and to let them know, because we got so thirsty afterwards, and that's not normal. If you have good vegan food, that's not normal. It just had some salad, some what they call then walnut meat, tomatoes. Actually, the tomatoes were not cooked; they were raw, and they had that sauce. So I think that was the culprit.
Yeah.
What is it, like an upset stomach, or what was the sickness?
I didn't have an upset stomach. I was just extremely thirsty, and I felt like it wasn't that much of food, but I felt so full, like a lot, like there was already a lot of air in it. But my husband actually had stomach pains. And so we're not used to really stuff that comes out of a package. So we don't know what's in it. And that's the whole problem when you go out for dinner. And even when you go to a raw vegan usually is pretty good. And they always, I can always ask what is in there. There's a restaurant it is in Oldsmart near Tampa. And it's called the Rock with a K, ROWK, Rock Cafe, Rock Food Cafe, and the Rock Cafe. It starts with ROWK. And we had eaten there quite a few times. And then it's probably already 6 months, at least 6 months ago, we were there. And now you could smell the food. And I still didn't realize that now they also had cooked food. So they had a soup on the menu. And I made soup, raw soup, in the cold and or room temperature. And I didn't think any of it, but it was cooked soup. And so the restaurant changed because they didn't get enough people for their raw food dishes. So
That's the problem with businesses. They have to go with whatever's selling. And I
yeah,
mean, that's the only way they're going to make a profit. So
yeah. And he had a big idea of having franchises all over. He had one franchise, I think it was in St. Petersburg or Sarasota, and it didn't last long. And it was a beautiful place. You could sit there outside. It was very busy. Yeah, and then COVID came, so a lot of restaurants had a lot of issues.
yeah.
But Rockstar Cafe. Now I know Rockstar Cafe.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
Ah.
but yeah, it's but they do work a lot. They didn't use any oils, but they do work a lot with, especially as a meat replacer. They didn't use, beans, because beans need to be cooked. And so they use like walnuts for the meat. And I don't do well on nuts at all.
Yeah.
Not any nuts.
While you were saying that, I remembered one of the transition foods that I absolutely loved, and that was cauliflower tacos. We would make like our own corn tortilla, and then you just take cauliflower and I would put water on it, but they said put oil, but I just put mine in water. So it was kind of damp and wet after washing it. And then you just put your taco seasoning on it and you roast it in the oven. When it comes out, you just load that up in your shell, some lettuce, tomato, salsa, and then we would just eat them like crazy. They were so good. And that's a really good transition food, because the cauliflower, even the people I gave it to that ate meat, they didn't believe it was cauliflower.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And it's simple to make. It's very easy. And we
how are you making the corn tortilla?
Well, back then we were just using that, what is it called? Mesa corn flour, whatever.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just make them ourselves, and it was really easy. And then we just pan fry them up too, just in a dry pan, just get it nice and hot. And then we would just make them that way, and then we would just eat the crap out of those things.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but
again, though, that's dinner.
Yeah, exactly. We don't actually have dinner time. We don't have any meal times. It's so fun. If you're ever lazy, like, this is the best path to take, because you don't cook. Like, there's no like, oh, I got to clean up after dinner, or now I got to make dinner. Now I got to do all this stuff. It's just, you just eat when you want, and you eat whatever it is that you do want at that time. I mean, most of us stick to our own stuff. Like I said, though, my husband still will have a meal, though. He does that at nighttime. It's just one meal. But the rest of the day, he has a smoothie and orange juice and, whatever other fruits he wants to graze on. And that's pretty much it. Mm-hmm.
Toni, did you start your
Nice.
plan? I remember you said Tuesday.
I know I was going to, and then I had to read the manual and all the preparation, and I was like, I'm not ready for that. So hopefully by next week I can tell you more, because you do need a few days to prepare for it. You have to be all fruit those days. And yesterday, unexpectedly, I was out and I ate something, and so because I was fasting, or actually only on water and fruit juices, and so I have to start all over again and go back to the fruit juices. My husband goes back tomorrow, so you cannot do it when you have any meetings going on, and I have meetings until Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. I'm still open, so maybe I need to block off these days, because when you do that, you have to take something every half hour for the whole day.
Oh,
every 30 minutes. Well, if I'm talking with people, I cannot do that.
I know that we're coming to the end of our show, but there was that one topic I brought up in the beginning was I've come across some information about the stainless steel water bottles, and especially like the Yeti, the Stanley cups and whatnot. they're made with a stainless steel that's called 188, and that means that it contains 8% nickel. And that's something that I guess we all should have known when they said stainless steel, that we should still go and look further into that. I know Toni ordered a glass cup for like travel when they're in their car and whatnot, but she even ordered that right before we even spoke. I guess hers is arriving today. And then I went on and I looked for some glass water bottles that have silicone protection, just because we're out in the field, we're in the barn, we're on 4-wheelers. I feel like I need a little bit more protection for my bottle. But even then I started thinking, is this really glass? Do I have to even look into, is this glass really? And so I did, and you just have to do your research on almost everything now. And it's a shame that all these people drink from them. They're nice bottles, especially if you're out in the sun. They do keep everything nice and cool, but I was like, wow, 8% nickel. Like I cannot wear anything that has nickel on it either. So I sometimes I always think my water tastes weird. Maybe that's why I don't drink a whole bunch of water either. So we're going to try the glass and see how that goes.
It's a good reminder that you say that about the stainless steel water bottles, because that is what my husband has all his water in when he's 5 days on the road.
Yeah.
And I found that, and I have actually a travel cup that is ceramic on the inside, but where you put your mouth and drink is plastic. And I always feel there is an odd taste to it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like I love to have tea when I'm on the road, especially when I travel for hours. And then, some hot tea is just, it's magic to me. my
Sarah,
herbal tea.
Yep.
Sarah,
Go ahead, Grant.
did you say it was 18 and 8?
Yeah, it's like 18/8. So then I went ahead and I looked that up.
Did you add those numbers together and see what the hell that makes out?
Well, 18. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, the 1 + 8 + 8 is what? If we all Charlie fans, okay?
17.
What's that number?
It's 17. You're right, Grant. That's awesome.
When you mentioned that, I was like, you got to be shitting me. Maybe it's actually good.
Nickel.
I don't know, because it's 18% chromium and 8% nickel. And then the rest of it is made up of the other stuff too. So I wasn't sure, and kind of made me upset. Like, why are they? But of course, why wouldn't they? But so I don't know.
I have a Yeti thermos. So
I do too. I have a Hydro Flask and a Yeti, and
I can't afford those. I can't afford those. I got the Igloo or the Coleman I can't afford it yet. Man, that's retarded what they charge.
Yeah, it is. I got them as gifts, and
but that's fine. Free is always better.
That's the way I like it.
Yeah.
Now, you mentioned something, Sarah, that kind of, now this is concerning, because all the water filters, the Berkey and the one that I have, it's all
the Berkey is 316 stainless steel, and so there's 316 and 318, and I was in the process of reading through what is the difference, and 19, of course, guess what
surrender.
It is. Yep. But there is a glass Berkey too, but it's not called a Berkey, but it looks exactly like a Berkey, but it's made of glass. So now it's okay. What kind of glass is it? Is it, and I can't pronounce that word. Is it like hydroboreum glass or something like that? I had to look it up again. But what I wanted to say too was there's this website. It's called masonjarlifestyle.com, and they offer silicone sleeves, and it is silicone, it is whatnot, but I keep them forever. I don't throw my stuff away. And like I said, we're out and about, and if I drop something, I don't want it to break. But what I was telling this for you, Toni, was Willem, if he did want to take those half-gallon mason jars, they now sell, they're called jackets, and they have jackets for the half-gallon mason jars. So they're better for travel.
Yeah, what we use is actually just glass milk bottles.
Mm-hmm.
For the smoothies.
Yep.
And I think he has to go that route also to put his water in.
Yeah. They do have these ones. They look just like a very large glass milk. I think it's a gallon size or minimal half gallon. And they even have a little handle on top so you can carry it. And I know they sell them on Amazon. They sell them in other places too. But I remember they used to have milk in them. If you go to Whole Foods, you'll see the milk in them still, but you can buy those glass jars.
Yeah.
Might even be able to ask Whole Foods if people return those and if you could have them. Never know.
Yeah.
But,
yeah.
Yeah. So now I'm going down that rabbit hole to start researching on that and just see if we can clean that up. But that's the whole journey though. Like you can't tackle everything at one time anyway. And even as long as we've been on this journey, I hate to say it, but like I feel stupid just even figuring that out, which that's something I feel like I should have already known. But again, it's just another step in the journey and who cares? We're all moving in the right direction at least. When my mom first started many, many, many years ago, recycling, she's like, I can't sort. I can't do all this stuff. I can't whatever. So I said, okay, start with cans and then paper and then whatever. And then now, it's like you're a recycling pro or whatever. But everything is steps like that. Of course, if you have time to do the steps, but that's a whole nother thing. So we're all on this path and let's just keep moving forward and let's keep learning from each other.
Exactly. We keep learning. There's new information everywhere constantly. And we think we were already so well on our way and doing so good. And then something comes up like, no, that wasn't good.
Mm-hmm.
But, you just figure out then something else. Because I've heard things about what glass is. And I'm like, oh, God, then what else is there?
I know one time you just got to be like, well, this is the best I can do right now. And am I going to throw away all those Yetis and Hydro Flasks? No, I'm not going to do that. But am I going to try to find a better alternative? You bet. And will I use them still? Maybe. I mean, I don't know. We'll have to see the circumstance.
Yeah.
Yeah. Step by step. That's all we can do on that one. It is that transition, just like we're doing with everything in our life. All of it, we come from wherever we came from. Some people were cleaner than others. Some people were dirty, more luggage. But yeah. Just one step at a time. Just like they always say, baby steps. And then before you know, you're running.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're flying, and then you don't even need to fly. You just kind of levitate, really. You don't have to do anything, because flying, a bird needs to flap the wings. They don't just float. They don't. Well, to get up, they don't float, but then they can take the jet stream. Certain birds, but yeah, it's step by step. That's how we got to go.
Absolutely. And what does the quote you just read about Dr. Morse, Toni? It's never too late.
You're never too old, something like that.
Something like that. There we go. Some of us have to really jump on that wagon really quick, though, and others can kind of take their time and get off and on as they want. But some of us have to jump on and hang on for dear life.
Well, hey, Sarah.
Mm-hmm.
Sarah, you're talking about Sarah in the Bible. I wonder if she went through menopause before she had a baby at 93 years old.
Exactly.
I was talking about that earlier. It's like, when is too late? At 93, I don't know if that was actually a physical fact, but it's that metaphor for anything can happen.
Yeah. And her baby's name is Itzhak, which is
Itzhak or Isaac.
And my son, I've talked about him before on here, where there's even people we don't even know that he brings joy to. And he's like the light of our lives. And my brother, real quick, he has truck driver friends. They call him like these older guys that are just kind of, just whatever, truck drivers. And they want to know what my son was doing today. Just like, how's he doing? What did he do today? And so he brings joy to people that we couldn't even imagine. So, yep.
Okay, guys, I gotta go. I have another meeting coming up.
Love you all so much, and wonderful show.
Y'all too.
Love you guys. Until
next
the
week.
next time. Thanks for being here. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Right.